Hi guys, it's Laura. So this is just a quick update on tent living. We did eventually get the tent up correctly. I was able to get it to go into the dome shape. I was just, we tried it again, and we stayed out in the tent for about 4 or 5 days. Like once we were able to get it up and secured properly and everything, it worked out a lot better. And I was, the thing was, like, we kept trying to do it, and I was afraid of breaking the little stick things that go inside the tent, but they bend slightly, so we were able to like bend them and connect them and get them anchored into the ground, and everything worked out fine. And you can see a picture of it. And we camped out like that for a few days, and it was it was better, because the other way, the tent was up, but it kept sliding down. And in the morning, by the time the morning came, we were practically like just laying under a tarp basically. So we did keep trying with the tent, and it did work out, and we were able to get it up properly. And it is just a viable resource. If you are homeless and you just need somewhere to stay like really quickly, because I've been seeing a lot of people, especially like here in Georgia, like the weather gets nice like pretty quickly, and winter doesn't last for as long. So like last week, I think the temperatures were in the 80s, like mid 80s, and it's just a resource to think about, just to have somewhere to go. And like I said, we were able to cook out and make a little campfire and cook on a little grill that we kind of fashioned, and it worked out pretty nicely, especially when we didn't have enough money to go into the hotel. So we kind of just camped out for a few days, and that allowed my son to kind of build up some money, and it was it helped us out a lot. So like I said, when you're homeless, you really have to try to be creative and try to see what you can manage to do. And it was just to me it was a good experience. Like I had a pretty good time. Like I said, not all days are like sunshine and rainbows. I mean, I see so many homeless people walking around, and they just look so hopeless and just so out of sorts. And I just want to say, just pray, just try. But like, I think sometimes when you've been in this situation for like a really long time, and especially when you have nobody else, it's just like yourself here trying to make it. It's hard to get a job, especially you don't have anywhere to shower, change, like I said, I can stay in a tent for a few days, but then eventually I have to go into a hotel. We have to shower, we have to wash our clothes, so it's only good for short periods of time, but it also gives us a chance to connect with each other. We bonded, we sat outside, we grilled, and it wasn't too bad. And especially for us, like, we're not people who go outside all the time. Like, my sons are definitely computer guys. Like, they stay on a computer nonstop, before this situation happened. And it was just a chance to get outside, be in nature. We gathered up little wood for the fire and stuff like that. I mean, when we barbecued, we used coal, because it's just a lot easier. The coal burns a long time, and we just bought small bags of coal, so it wasn't like we had to spend an exorbitant amount of money on getting stuff to keep the grill burning. And then at the end, we just used little sticks and brush and everything to make like a campfire, and we just kind of sat around that until it was time to lay it down and go to bed. And like I said, I'm just offering up suggestions, because I see so many times like people are like, oh, I'm homeless, what am I going to do, and I have no place to go. And sometimes you just need to sit and be with yourself and pray and just talk to God. And sometimes that's what he's letting you know, like, just take your time. Like, it feels like you're alone all the time, but as long as you have God on your side, you're not alone, and that's the important thing to remember. So thanks. This was just a little update. Hope this helps somebody. Y'all have a great day. Thank you.